Hello, friends, and welcome to the Adventure Starts Here podcast. This week, we played Lethal Dungeon, a pick-3 roguelike where you have to solve all combat in a single turn. Created by Nihohe Soft, we had been looking forward to this game since we played Mimic Logic, his first game, so we were very hyped for this episode. And honestly, not to spoil too much of the episode, but it was well worth the wait. If you haven't played it already, go support this developer and give the game a shot. That being said, enjoy the episode. For this week, played Nihohe Soft's, I don't know how to pronounce their name, that's the publisher, Nihohe Soft. We played their second game that just came out, Lethal Dungeon. Jordan, technically you picked this game. Why did you pick it?
Yeah, I mean, we like Mimic Logic and the game looked cool, so I picked this one.
Yeah, I was really glad that you did. Because, I remember after finishing Mimic Logic, we immediately checked for other games, and this was like their TBD release game, and it looked fucking awesome. So, this was a clutch pick.
Yeah, unironically, I've been looking forward to this game like as much as Slay the Spire 2, oddly enough. But for anyone listening, if you didn't watch our Mimic Logic episode, go look at that game on the store page. If what it's describing sounds appealing to you, it is a game that is perfect at exactly what it's trying to do. It's a very good game. And Lethal Dungeon, I guess we'll see if it's as good as Mimic Logic. We'll see. But I don't know. I don't have like a big crazy opening bit. With that in mind, the question I wanted to ask you guys to start, something I've been thinking about, is what is your favorite use of a fourth wall break in a game? So it could be stuff like the stuff Nier Automata does, where you're like hacking into the menus, Undertale. What do you guys got?
You already took mine. I was going to say Automata, but not the menus. Like the whole ending E credit sequence, I think is like some of the best shit ever coded for a video game.
True. It's very impactful.
If I can't pick this game, then it would be one shot changing your desktop wallpaper to one of the passwords that the game requires you to use.
Oh, that's fucking sick, actually.
Oh, that would make me so mad.
They made a like a remastered version that puts the game inside an operating system, so it doesn't change your actual wallpaper anymore.
Okay, then that's less bad.
Yeah, probably because of people like you who are like, "This is unacceptable," and then got really mad at them.
Oh,
My privacy.
That would be immediate negative review and uninstall. Because I use my desktop background as art. Like I deactivated desktop icons. It's there for a reason. I want to be able to see it. I have my internet browser not maximized so I can see it peeking in the corners.
After you solve the puzzle, they set it back. If that's any recompense.
Yeah, my fucking monitors always have full screen windows up, so I don't even know what my desktop background is right now, or has been for the past 10 years.
Mine is the default one that my pre-built computer came with when I bought it.
Yeah,
I think it's just the motherboard logo.
I've used the Windows 7 stock image since Windows 7. So when I get Windows 10, Windows 11, I just use that same Windows 7 one.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well,
anyway,
I'm not a peasant, so I got my fucking Disco Elysium background.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's a lot of good answers to this question though. Like the other stuff that was kind of poking around my head was there were three games, and then I was like, oh yeah, Automata. But I was thinking about like Doki Doki Literature Club, Slay the Princess, and fucking Hello Charlotte. I think all of those games do fourth wall breaks and like commentary on like your agency as a player of the video game like extremely fucking well.
I also gotta say Void Stranger as well, because it's my favorite game. And then if you saves come and then you go to fucking court to tell you, or like if you honk the boobs too much, that's really good.
Yeah, Void Stranger is great at how it does it in particular. I'm kind of like wrestling in my head between Undertale and Doki Doki Literature Club. Undertale has a lot of them that are like not quite as good as the singular one in Doki Doki Literature Club, or at least the one I'm thinking of, but it has a lot of good ones. I think we can go with Doki Doki Literature Club though, because the vibe you get at the end of that game is very, very good in terms of the developer intention.
Yeah,
that game's so good.
Nah, for me, I think I'm just gonna have to have the basic bitch opinion. I'm really fond of the one in Earthbound, kind of like the OG one, because I don't know if this is fair, but I feel like anytime someone tries to do that fourth wall break like after that, it just feels like it's so obvious what they're doing. Like right when you see like the enter name prompt, for example, I'm just like, oh, they're doing it again. So that's why I got to pick Earthbound.
I'm not familiar with the Earthbound one. What happens?
I can't remember exactly, but I do remember at the beginning of the game, you're asked a bunch of names, like what's your real name, like your pet's name and shit like that. I hope I'm not making that up. It's been a long time since I played
Nope.
the game.
Yeah,
but then
right.
it all that stuff eventually comes back later on, and it's really cool.
Yeah, it asks you to name a bunch of stuff in the very beginning of the game in like typical JRPG fashion, and then when you're fighting Gigas at the end, you can't do any damage to it, and the girl character Paula, she just has to pray, and you start like praying and reaching out to your friends and like all the people that you met on your journey through the game, and then the last one that ends up killing Gigas is the name that you put in the very beginning.
Oh, that's cool.
And
One of you guys should really pick Earthbound at some point so that I can be forced to play that game.
And I don't remember if it's the ultimate attack, but like at least one of your magic attacks will be like PSY and then whatever you put as your favorite thing, which I think is cool.
Yeah, God, that game's so
that's
good.
cool. It's a classic.
Yeah, there's a reason. There's a reason why you get all these like Earthbound like games, like fucking even 30 years later. Because that game fucking slaps.
Yeah, it really is insane just how much stuff it's inspired all the way down. Like so many, and like that's just the obvious ones. How many like developers that are in studios now did it inspire? You know?
Yeah, it's like branching inspiration. It's probably up there with Evangelion. It's like they probably like just inspired so much shit between those two pieces of media.
Well, when it comes to this incredibly hyped game, Lethal Dungeon, did it live up to your guys' expectations of what we were looking for after the flawless 8 out of 10 that Mimic Logic was?
8 out of 10. I gave that shit a 10.
I thought we were straight 8s. Am I crazy? I thought we were
No,
all 8.
you are crazy. I gave it a 10, I'm pretty sure.
Ben called
By
it
the way, I'm
peak
giving
off.
this game a 10 too.
Yeah, it was a peak off. Oh shit, that's funny.
I mean, I had I think it matched my expectations for everything except like the ending and what the game was. That was an exceeds expectations.
Yeah, this game definitely gets an exceeds on its annual review for sure. Like, I was expecting it to be around the same kind of like 8 out of 10 level that Mimic Logic was. And it's funny you call it a flawless 8 out of 10 as if that like phrase makes any fucking sense, but I think it's perfect actually for Mimic Logic. It is like the best 8 out of 10 game ever made probably. And
yeah.
So I was expecting this game to be kind of like hover around that level, but yeah, spoiler alert, it's better than that for sure.
Yeah, I think with Mimic Logic, it's like what I said earlier. Like that game doesn't try to do more than exactly what it's trying to do, and because of that, it's like we said in the episode, it couldn't really go above an 8. But it's perfect. Again, it's perfect at exactly what it's doing. This game, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have like a slightly different but kind of similar opinion to that, where like it's really interesting to watch these developers go from what I just described to this game, which is like a saturated market of pick threes, and still innovate in their own incredibly unique ways. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I said it earlier in the Discord chat. I feel like this is the most innovative pick three that I've played since Inscription. Do you guys vibe with that? Do you guys see where I'm coming from with that?
I haven't played Inscription, but I hear that game's pretty good. That being said, I feel like this game is kind of like very much its own thing, because I know it technically has pick three in it, but like the way that it's designed and just like what you're doing in the moment of like the actual combat, it's not like really like any other games. Like I wouldn't even really say it feels like Slay the Spire. It is very much like its own kind of like skill expression simulator. I don't know if that makes sense.
I think if the game I just posted didn't exist, I would say this game is very innovative. But I think because that game exists, I think it's kind of it's just like really well designed. I wouldn't call it innovative.
Okay, I've never seen. Wait, no, I think I have seen. I saw this, and maybe I added it to my wish list.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's on your wish list, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, but I don't really remember too much about it other than
I mean,
it's there.
I guess the umbrage I would take with that statement is this game was only released, like 3 weeks before Lethal Dungeon? So, I mean, unless it was in early access for a while and I just didn't know.
I mean, it's still
Also,
first to market, though.
I haven't played One Turn Kill, the game you just linked, but what I'm talking about when I talk about innovation, I'm talking about like some of the things Thomas has mentioned in our notes, like the uh, deck. Like it's a deck building game, but your deck doesn't grow in size. You're just replacing cards. Things like how the combine and the print deck work. Uh, Not necessarily like the structure of what the game is, but what is doing with like a structure that's kind of already there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this game, like, it took the sort of formula that does exist in other pick three roguelike deck builder, whatever the fucks you want to call it, but it deconstructs it so goddamn hard that by the time that this goofy Japanese dude, I'm assuming it's just one guy. I get solo dev vibes from these games, but by the time that he like rebuilds his vision, it has the bones of one of these like one of these bog standard like monster train, Slay the Spires, whatever, but it's so radically different in its execution and its play patterns that I can't think of another game I could compare this to other than the one that just got linked, which apparently they just invented calculus at the same time. That's a ref to math.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best innovation they did was just taking the Slay the Spire formula and then making the run shorter.
Yeah, they kind of like
nobody does that. It's always the opposite. It's always like, hey, you want a 12-hour Slay the Spire run? I've never seen a game where it's like, hey, you want a way shorter one?
Yeah, that is definitely, especially after some of the things I mentioned when we did Starvaders, that is definitely something I appreciated about this game. I think that more games should take the kind of a, I mean, to be clear, Starvaders and Slay the Spire have this where you have like the optional final boss that you can choose to do to extend your run, basically. But none of them have it where it's like an incredibly short primary gameplay structure, like 3 acts Slay the Spire and Starvaders in this game basically has 2 incredibly short acts with a third optional act. And I really liked that because I think a game like this, I don't think a game like this would do well with incredibly long runs.
Oh yeah, no. And the reason for that, in my opinion, is that um, I sometimes like as my opinions on things in the world writ large kind of matures, I'm finding myself appreciating games that have longer runs just because it has a tendency to feel less junk foody, less ball X pity. But I don't think that this game could be long because even though the runs are only like 15 to 20 minutes, like you are still using a shit ton of brain power. Like the computations per second that your brain does in this game can get kind of crazy, especially if you're like really fucking autistic about trying to min max like how much gold you're gonna get at the end of the fight and shit. So if these runs got like extrapolated out to like an hour, hour and a half, like Slay the Spire esque timings, then I would need a fucking nap by the time I finished a game.
Yeah, and I think that the way that this game is designed lends itself to play very well with those shorter runs. Like, I don't think you could just take something like Slay the Spire and just like delete an act and have it be as like compelling. And that's because this game kind of like its entire like gameplay loop is just like the one cool turn you do at the end of like a Slay the Spire run, but you just do that every single time.
True. Yeah, I think this game is like almost insidious in how good of a decision it was to make the runs shorter. Because as you guys are talking, I'm kind of thinking about like like each deck that you can play in the game has maybe what was it like 4 or 5 cards that are unique to it. I'm specifically talking about like the pre-built deck has like 4 or 5 cards that are unique to that deck, and the rest are like the kicks and strikes. And if you had like a really long run, it would start to feel less like you're playing that deck because you would eventually have to just replace the unique cards in that deck. But because you start with the kicks and the strikes, you just want to replace those at the start, which means that like it gives the decks identity while not like getting in the way of creating your own lethal puzzles, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Yeah, I didn't actually even think about that because, like, I actually did very little comparison in my head from this game to something like Slay the Spire. But the fact that like removing cards is such, or like removing cards from your decks to reduce their size and make them more consistent is so integral to those games. But in this game, that mechanic just doesn't exist. You just use all parts of the buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that was like a really interesting aspect to this game too. That like, um, the idea is obviously I don't think that they wanted this to be like a high variance game because um, you're not like flooded with choice in the same way that you are with a lot of these other games, and even the choices that you make I don't think are altogether like super impactful. Like I think the most impactful part of any run, in terms of like the decisions that you have to make, is when you hit a shop. And so um, the fact that they stripped some of that complexity out and kind of remolded it into like a different brand of complexity via lowering the variance, I think was like a fucking awesome design decision for this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I kind of in line with that, I also think that just from like a how it feels to play perspective, the idea of basically what you and Ben have both said, where like you don't have to reduce your deck size. You can't reduce your deck size in this game. And in games like Slay the Spire at all, it can feel kind of bad to take a card that you're like, I don't really know if I want this, but it's better than a strike, so I'm going to take it. But this game kind of like skips that step of having to remove bad cards from your deck by it just being part of the core gameplay.
Yeah, because like one of the more annoying things about playing Slay the Spire is like the better you get at it, the more you realize that pressing the skip button is like oftentimes the best option. And the problem with that is that doesn't really feel good. Like you beat a floor, you're continuing on your journey, but you didn't get any reward for it. Like your reward was not making your deck shittier than when you started. And that doesn't really feel great. But in this game, it's like you're almost always picking something like in the first, what, maybe 4 tries, because you got to get rid of the kicks and the strikes and all that shit. So the fact that you are just kind of by default almost every time getting rewarded at a floor, and it's typically going to be a good reward, is like a really good aspect of the fucking dopamine drip that they keep in this game.
Yeah, for sure. And also, like, to what y'all brought up earlier about reducing the variance, I think it was also a really great decision to put a lot of mechanical focus on your gold, and not even during the shops, but like during combat.
Yes.
Like the amount of gold you have matters, and it can reduce that variance too. Because I think in the OneNote, I think Jordan, you put something about how mulligans were the best thing you could do, that 30 gold, which I don't disagree with, but like the more I played and the higher difficulty that I climbed, I felt that being able to just spend 100 gold to like top off the last couple of damage of like a almost ideal hand was just a lot more effective, or like it felt a lot more effective because I just really wanted to prolong the run instead of just gambling or starting over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the gold system in this game, there's a lot of reasons why I think the gold system in this game is really good. Specifically what you just referenced, Ben, about being able to pull a card from your deck for 100 gold. One of the specific reasons that I like that, and again, this is just like a how it feels to play situation. If I'm not trying to optimize and I'm just like at the end of my run, I'm doing the boss at the end of the second floor, and I like play out my hand, and oh no, the boss has 2 health left. I'm going to have to do that turn all over again. No, I'll just end my run, pull a card from my deck, and kill it. Cool, done. Don't have to do the turn again. And I love that aspect of it.
Yeah.
The funniest thing is that even after you do that min-maxing, if you do still have that like that feeling in the back of your mind that you could have done it better, you still can press retry. And my favorite part is like the feedback that Nihohesoft gives you is so good, because if you do that and you do better, then it shows the delta between what you got last time and your new best gold. So let's say you go from like 30 to 60 gold, and then it lights up that 60 in rainbows and like starts flashing. It's so good.
Yeah,
I never
fucking
even did
love
that.
Oh, I did that so much. This game really like made my autism brain tingle. Every time I was like, I know I could just shave a card off of that. It was retry until I did it.
I never
Yeah,
retried
and
after finishing the run. I would always retry like before using the last card.
I did it a couple times, but like, man, it is really crazy just how much you can optimize a turn once you have your deck semi-built. Like, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
I
and
basically
also to be
forfeited it.
clear, to be clear, like you really don't have to. That's just mostly if you want to, because like I do agree with Jordan that most of the time, if I squeaked past, I just kept going because
Yeah.
the runs are so short that like I'm basically at the end. It feels like anyway.
There was probably double-digit times where I'd be like, I could probably get 30 more gold out of this next. And like, I just didn't want to do the turn again.
Yeah,
There's
I just
actually an exception. If I wanted to do the third floor, just because I wanted to for fun, then I would try really hard and like try to get the maximum amount of gold to
Oh,
go
yeah.
into it.
Yeah,
Kinda
I was
had
gonna
to.
say that was when I did it too. Was when I felt like I had a powerful deck that I could clear the third floor with. Was usually when I did it, but I don't know. There's just like a part of my brain that always wants to try and find like the optimal path through something. Not even just like with regards to video games, just kind of like in life in general. I have whatever like efficiency autistic brain cells going on, and this game is like fucking crack to that genetic part of me.
With that in mind, Thomas, what did you think of the puzzle mode that this game offered?
I didn't complete it because it got really hard, and I intended to go back and try and finish it. I think I got through the first like 17 to 20, somewhere in there. And they're fucking hard. Like, they are not easy. And I wanted to go back and finish all of them, but I didn't.
I think I stopped at like 5.
Yeah, I did do all of them, and there are two things that are impressive to me about the puzzle mode, and one that is the extent to which Nihohesoft was able to push the limits of like of how they created a puzzle in terms of like, okay, for this puzzle, you need to get 4 enemies down to 1 health, apply a bomb so it applies to all of them, and that'll kill like the single damage taker guy in the back. And there's like every puzzle I thought was very unique in that way. Um, and the second was how fucking tight all of the puzzles are. Like, I don't think there's multiple solutions to like any of them. They're all like very fixed.
Yep, I think so, for sure. These dudes
That's the
know how to
reason.
design a puzzle. That is for fucking sure.
What
Yeah,
Seth just said is the reason why I didn't do any of the puzzles, because I don't, like I don't find that fun like at all. Like lethal puzzles for card games and shit, I'm always like, nah, not for me.
Isn't that what this whole game is? I'm confused.
Not if you have one possible solution and you need to figure out what it is. That's what I'm saying. I don't like.
I just felt like it did a good job. Like, I did the puzzle mode after I had done everything else, but I feel like if I had done it first, it would have gotten me to think about certain things in different ways, because it actually teaches you a lot of mechanics if you didn't already intuit them, like how the bomb card, when it applies a bomb, will apply to all of the like all of the targets with the same HP, for example. Like, it'll teach you stuff like that. And I feel like that's actually one of the values of the puzzle mode, is like getting to think about these situations in ways that you wouldn't have otherwise.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say too. It's a very good teaching tool for obscure mechanics that you may not stumble upon on your own.
I think they should have put unlocking of the cards behind the puzzles to like solve that. So if you solve the bomb puzzle, then you get the bomb card kind of thing. And that's not
I
an
can
original
see
idea.
that.
I stole that from a game called Card and Seal. That's literally what they do.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
see
I
that.
don't think that's a bad idea.
Yeah, the only problem I have with that is that I don't want it to be mandatory because those things are really hard.
I mean, in theory, it's never. In theory, it's never like mandatory though, right? Because it's just a card option that you're getting out of it.
You'd make it more tutorialized for what I said, though. You wouldn't make it like hard as fuck to unlock some new
Yeah,
mechanic.
it'd have to be redesigned to be something I feel would be completely different than what it is. But
Yeah.
I can see it
It
working.
it could also be like maybe this is like an over designing kind of thing, but you could have like some kind of meta progression thing where it's like, oh, okay, you did the bomb puzzle and now all of your bomb cards are upgraded, stuff like that.
That'd be cool.
What was your guys' favorite decks to play?
I mean, I was gonna ask more specifically what'd you guys think of the print deck?
Oh, this shit is goated.
Because I thought the print deck was I thought the print deck from like a wonder standpoint was like the coolest thing in the game, and the print deck from a gameplay was the worst deck to play.
I kind of feel that way too, because like maybe I'm just dumb, but after a certain point, I just kept picking the same thing, which was I opened up the menu, the options menu, and I always would print copy file every time.
Oh, that's
after
funny.
I found out that was an option. I never did anything else.
I took music a shitload because it was just a 4 damage card, and it kept changing the music, which I thought was sick because there's so many music tracks in this game, and I think some of them are locked behind having to use the music card.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of mixed opinion on the gameplay of print. I think the way you described it was very fitting, where from like the kind of fourth wall breaky perspective, fucking genius, loved it, wish more games did it. But from the gameplay perspective, when I first started doing it, I don't know if you used the word overwhelming, but that's definitely what it was for me. It's like, this isn't like me experimenting anymore. This is, I have to consider that I have all of these cards in my hand and try to optimize from there, which from like a perhaps top end Thomas perspective would be very funny or very fun rather. And I'll be curious to hear Thomas's opinion once I shut up. But I think at the end of the day, I kind of liked it because I just found like the 3 cards that I knew that I would pick. Like I would always pick static. What was it from? It was from one of the option menu options. I forget which one, but it was just 3 mana, deal 3 damage, and early game that's really fucking good. So I used it a lot, as well as the background one that made everything cursed. I thought those ones were really good, so I just had those in my back pocket.
Yeah, I used the background one probably the most, I think, because it's fucking ridiculous. But I fucking loved print. Like there's so many like layers to it where like your brain will like even just from like the superficial like monkey brain when you're just sitting there like if I right click on this will it do something, and it does like every time. Like that aspect to me is just like fucking hilarious as all get out. But I think that it just really shines for me in the sense that it creates these like crazy dynamic situations, and like trying to find that optimal path, it convolutes it so much in a way that is like really enjoyable. And even though I do think that like eventually you do arrive at like the 3 different options that are all the best, like music, background, or just like create your own card, but like just that extremely insanely sick fourth wall breaking mechanism sort of deal that they did. I mean, it's not even really fourth wall. I don't know what the hell you would call it other than it's just cool as shit.
Yeah, it's just that rule cool.
Yeah, exactly. So like, yeah, I fell in love with that. Was my favorite deck for sure because just the amount of weird contrivances that it creates. Would I want to play an entire game like that? Absolutely not. But like playing through 5 runs for like an hour and a half or something was like the perfect amount of time where it didn't wear out its welcome.
I think the only other thing I want to mention about it is that one component of it I liked is that the amount of choices that you have can be very overwhelming, and it can be a lot to consider that you technically have all of these cards in your back pocket. But 2 things about that. Number 1, the realization of like, oh wait, if I go to the menu and I click the music icon, then that's going to give me like a really good lethal. That's a very good feeling. Like you feel extremely rewarded when you have that realization. And number 2, if you just don't want to engage with that at all, you can just go into a run and be like, okay, this is going to be a factory deck. I'm just going to build like every card that I choose, every relic that I take is going to be built around making factory good. And that was a component I really, really enjoyed.
Is that just like collecting a bunch of gold?
I think it's mana.
Yeah, just generating mana.
Yeah, just get
mana,
as many
yeah,
drains as you
mana
can
and
get.
stuff like
No,
mana
I guess
and
I
stuff like
didn't.
overwrite.
I'm trying to remember what factory was. I thought that was
It's
one where you
the-
paid gold to make your own card.
You don't pay gold. You do create your own card, but there's no gold. It's just the mana cost.
Okay, so full disclosure, I clicked on the card, but I never actually made a card with it. I just saw it, I thought it was cool, and then I pressed X and picked another card to print.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll be honest.
better example for your understanding is like a fast forward deck. I'm gonna make a poison deck.
Gotcha.
Fast forward was
Honestly,
so fucking strong.
I would say that the thing that I picked on print probably 70 to 80% of the time was just gold, to be honest.
Yeah. That was actually the most annoying part about print is that I couldn't just end my turn if I saw lethal without using print. I would have to print the gold and then play the gold.
It gives
That's
you
like
40,
a minor
right?
point, but Yeah, it gives you more than just having it in your hand.
Yep.
All that being said, my favorite deck was the combined deck. I fucking
Same.
love that shit. Oh my god, it was fun.
Same. Like, it does have a flaw though, where like when you get an effective combined deck, it plays exactly the same as all the other ones. But
that's what I was going to say.
But that thing that you do where you create the tendrils of agony every time feels so good, and it's so consistent. And there was another part of combined that I really liked is that like kind of similar to print, where like there are just some things that you don't expect to work, but then they do. Like the card overwrite that says whatever's in a text box that's numbered, just add 2 to it.
Yeah.
And then you put that on the demonic tutor, and then use copy file to demonic tutor for 5 cards, basically your whole deck. And that's how you can make that that wombo combo very consistent. It's just very fun to do, very easy to execute.
Yep.
Yeah, I love doing that. I think the only problem, and it's not even a big problem, is kind of similar to what Ben was saying, which is I think I would have had a lot more fun with combine if it didn't start with combo kill, because it just became, okay, what's my best card to click combine and combo kill with? All right, I won the fight. And
Yeah.
that was it.
I mean, that's what I was going to say for my favorite deck was any deck that started with combo kill. Because, I mean, yeah, it was just like run winning. Those decks were just so easy to play for me.
Yeah, I guess you guys are accurate in that it all of those did kind of play similarly because that card is very strong. But I thought that card was really fun to play. If you ask me for my favorite card, it's either that or combine. So
yeah, I don't want to criticize it in terms of the actual text on the card. I would just say that I think I would have liked combine more if combo kill just wasn't in the starting deck. That's the only change I would make, because it just made all of the runs kind of boil down to doing the same thing most of the time.
Yeah, and at least in my
I think-
experience too. Go ahead, Ben.
I think if you were to remove combo kill from the default deck for combine, you probably would have to rework the combine mechanic so that it doesn't replace a card but just gets added to your hand at the start.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think for me, the only like weird experience with relation to that was that I think when I started playing the combined deck, I didn't have any of the other good cards that are like good to combine with, like catapult or shockwave, like the other repeatable sorts of cards. Because like that's what makes combine good, is combining a card that's repeatable. And I just didn't have any except for combo kill. So yeah, all my runs ended up being that same combo kill style, which was fun, but yeah, kind of samey. Jordan, did you want to bring anything up with regards to the retry system?
I think Ben kind of mentioned it earlier, but I mean, yeah, I just think that not putting retries behind anything other than the counter of retries is a very fun, forward design choice that 99% of other developers of games like this would never, ever, ever put in a game like this. You would have to spend your gold, or you would have to sacrifice something, rather than just like, hey, you fucked up, just do it again.
Yeah, I agree. I think this game is so well served for being able to retry as many times as you can, for sure. Because, I mean, you kind of have to, unless you can, like, just envision your entire turn, like, as soon as you draw your hand, which isn't easy.
Yeah. The amount of times that I played a single card and then retried was probably in the double digits.
Yeah,
I bet I retried without clicking any cards more than once, just because I got in the habit of clicking the fucking button so much.
I mean, it's just like Star Raiders, right? Like Star Raiders has a retry, but you get 3 per fucking thing, and then they refill at the end of an act. Blah blah blah. It's like there's too many conditions here. It's not a currency. You just like have it fun. Just let me fucking retry. And I think that served them really, really well to just have that in there.
Well, I also feel like this game took what we liked about the chrono tokens and Star Vaders and just like split it into 3 different things that make me like it even more. Like having the ability to restart the turn and mulligan, and like restart the turn with your mulligan hand, and pull cards from your deck. Like I like having those as multiple options rather than all being tied to the same thing, because it feels like an overwhelming choice to make, like the chrono token did.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think it just really highlights that this game is like fun forward. Like they wanted to make a fun game. They didn't want to try to make a game within these confines of these rules to make it like a balanced designed game. They just want fun first.
Yeah, it wasn't designed by a fucking European.
Do you guys think the relics were underpowered compared to just having gold?
I did actually, yeah. The only deck I found,
disagreed.
the only deck that I prioritized getting relics on with any like real intent or purpose was random. I felt like random took advantage of the relics
Sure.
better than anything else. But yeah, most of the time I didn't really find myself trying to go out of my way to get them.
Go ahead, Ben.
Really, that's so weird to me because I leverage relics a lot. Like there are certain decks where I knew that I wanted like a shock effect, for example, and if I don't draw my shock card, I'm gonna have to spend 100 gold to tutor it, or I just have that relic that I click on and give the next card shock, for example. And that's just like the least useful example I could think of. Like there were so many times where like I would have a deck that just doesn't use mana at all. Like literally, I would just go through all my combat turns with just like 6 mana left over because all my cards cost no mana. So if I have a relic that I can just mana dump and just get free damage, and I can like save a card or two.
The thing is, like, I don't think the relics are bad necessarily, but I do think that, like, citing the example of the relic that gives the next card you play shock is, like, I mean, that is literally the best relic in the game, I think, and I don't even know if it's particularly close. I think the big problem, I don't even know if it's a problem, because I think in terms of, like, the power level, they're actually probably fine. They're not overwhelming or underwhelming, but they they all act within kind of a pretty narrow space or like a narrow niche. So like
Yeah,
I don't always generate like fucking 7 mana that I can use to like click on this relic to deal a couple extra damage. But like there are some like really generically good ones for sure. But by and large, like I said, I didn't really find myself going out of my way to pick them up. Like if the choice was between relic and gold, I would probably be taking gold most of the time.
damn. I wonder if that's why I didn't beat the games because I kept picking relics. I liked them. I thought they were fun, and I found them to be a lot more useful than you guys did. Think. I don't
No,
know
I
why.
think I'm kind of with you. Like my like general so like I never pulled cards from my deck like ever, so I can't really look at it from that perspective. I just never wanted to spend 100 gold to do what felt like a incredibly inefficient maneuver. I'm not criticizing the fact that it's in the game; it's just not how I played. And so basically, every time I left the shop, I felt like I only ever needed 2 mulligans at most, like 60 gold at most. And to that extent, my like shop strategy was pretty much always okay. If there's a rare card, I'm probably getting the rare card unless there's a relic that fits into what I'm doing really, really well. And then it's like random relics that might be good. Like maybe I'll have that way to use gasoline, for example, even though that one's kind of overcosted. Um, but basically, as long as I was leaving the shop with 60 gold, I felt fine, and I just like picked up relics because I didn't always know if I would want it later. And I don't know, I don't think they're like as strong as some of the relics in Slay the Spire, but at the same time, I also had a run where I beat the final boss by using the relic that discards a card to do 2 damage and contract. So that was fun.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. I just think that there's like if you made a tier list of relics in this game, you'd have S tier, A tier, and F tier. Because I think that there's either really good relics, pretty good relics, or unusable relics.
I don't
Yeah,
know
that's probably
if
yeah.
they're ever
relics.
unusable, but they're just sometimes too niche. Because I was actually
Right.
thinking about it back when you were talking about like the puzzle trials, and there was one that taught me how to use the relic that discards a card, and I was just like, why would I ever use this? And then when I saw it in that trial, I was like, oh. But it's like
Yeah.
literally the one time where like you get a card like ice, where after it gets into negative power, it's basically useless. But then you could discard it for resources, and that feels kind of good. But again, that's like literally the only use case for that relic, really.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that it's kind of feast or famine with the relics because, like, what I'm thinking is I would usually finish a run with like 4 or 5 relics, like not counting the starting one, and it was generally the case that only one of those happened to really be relevant, but they can be very, 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 very fucking relevant at the same time. So, yeah, I think it's just that dichotomy between really good and really bad.
Yeah, and another thing is that before when we were talking about like min-maxing your runs and retrying, another reason why I would retry a run is if I forgot that I had relics to use and I saw all that mana left over and I see that I didn't gain any gold. I was like, I don't know, maybe I should redo this.
I'm running a thought through my head, which is that I'm kind of feeling like it's a good thing that the relics are feast or famine in a game like this, because so much of the focus in the game does feel like it's on the cards and like combining your cards and printing cards and all of this stuff. And I feel like just having like individually strong relics that are like memorable and that you know you're going to use versus like a decent relic that you're going to forget that you're going to use or like figure out how to optimize is like it's better to just have the good or bad relics. You know what I mean? I'm still like wrestling with that thought. If you guys have feelings on that,
I think it's fine that like there's nothing wrong with bad shit existing in a game, right? Like I mean, like Magic the Gathering like intentionally designs bad things and that's totally okay. It's just like I don't think that the game is worse off for having like some non-trivial percentage of bad relics. It just means that the things that I prioritize in like each like the run to run systems is just different.
sure.
I don't think that
What
there's
I'm
anything actually wrong with the relics. It's just they're not super they weren't a super high priority.
yeah, like from a game design perspective, that's always going to happen, right? Like you're always going to have your best and worst relics, but kind of what I'm trying to say is what Jordan said earlier, where there's like an S tier, an A tier, and an F tier. I think that in a game like this, that is better than having S tier like down to A, B, C, D, F. Because like I don't want like a mid-level relic that I'm gonna forget about and forget how to optimize and struggle to optimize. I would just rather have my shitty relics that are perhaps just incredibly niche, or my like super powerful relics that I know are gonna bring the optimization.
I think it's just that we're probably all used to playing Slay the Spire for hundreds of hours, and in that game, like relics are king. And this game, if you have that same expectation, then that's completely like not the case.
Yeah, I mean
Like I
it's
think
like
it's fine.
it's almost true like for Monster Train as well, where like the equivalent of relics are like almost always the right choice. Like it's rare that there are like total whiffs, not impossible, but like rare. And I think that one of the things that this game does right is that like even though I think on average the power level of the relics is lower than some of these other games we're talking about, but there's also a lot fewer of them. Like there's probably like 10% of like the raw number of relics in this game versus something like Slay the Spire, which means that even though there are like a decently high number of ones that won't do anything for you, your odds of finding the S tier ones is significantly higher. So like it kind of comes out in the wash a little bit where even though there's a lot of bad ones, there's less of them, so your odds of finding the right ones are better.
I also think that this lends itself well to the shorter runs because if you do get one of those like kind of poopy relics, but it excels in one niche situation, having it be good in one combat is still a significant part of your very short run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
For sure.
Yeah, true, definitely.
And I don't think when I say there's F tier relics, I think it's more just like how viable are the relics. You could still like make a deck around like gasoline or something if you find it, right? Like you could probably just be like, oh, I got this relic. Let's see if we can make it work, kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. When you were talking about F tier relics, I was thinking about stuff that like says your scratch cards deal +1 damage, and I'm never going to have a scratch card in my deck at any point in this run. Like that's kind of like the relative F tier that I'm thinking of.
Like always good, sometimes good, niche good.
Did you guys think that this game was impossible starting at difficulty 2?
No, that dude was a retard. And for people listening, we're talking about one review, the one singular negative Steam review.
Yeah, by the time that I had read that review, I had only been playing the game for like 2 hours, and I was already level 3 on the first 3 decks. So I don't know what the fuck that guy's problem was.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that the difficulty in this game was almost perfect. Maybe just perfect. Because
I agree.
I felt like once I got to like difficulties 4 or 5, I definitely had to think and optimize more. But it wasn't to the extent that it was like excruciating to do a run. Like I was still having fun on those difficulties.
Yeah, for sure. Like even though I didn't end up beating the game, like it's definitely a manageable difficulty all the way through.
Yeah, I think the difficulty curve of this game is really well crafted because, like, by the time you are at level 5, like they are challenging. Like they're not free, and especially depending on the deck. Like I think I was stuck on what was I stuck on? I think I was stuck on combine for a little while until I realized the power of combo kill. So like the difficulty curve from 1 through 5 is definitely like pretty fucking well structured, I think.
It's definitely on the easier side, I think, but I think that with the game having like a fun forward design, I think that that's a good thing.
Yeah. Like I don't think this game was necessarily hard, and I think it might have been better off if there were like some more challenging runs. I didn't fuck with any of the like post level 5 stuff where you can go up to like 5 plus 99 or whatever. So I guess I don't really have a good conception, but I think that just in terms of the basic game loop, there could have been a higher degree of difficulty, but I think that the way that they like drew the curve was really satisfying.
Yeah, I think it was actually like almost perfect because I feel like if you do want that challenge, they designed it so that you could seek that out in the puzzle mode instead. Like that
Puzzle mode.
significant challenge, I mean.
The puzzle mode, as well as the thing that Ben doesn't know about, which is the like the infinite scaling difficulty after beating everything that Thomas mentioned, which I don't know, like it's kind of like what Jordan is getting at, where like if a game is going to be fun forward, then it's okay to be a little bit easier, I would say. But I'm glad that it has that infinitely scaling difficulty option. Number one, I don't really feel like I'm pressured to do it. There's no like gameplay changes like there is in Slay the Spire that makes me feel like I need to do it. Like I have to scratch that itch to like see the double boss at the end of Act 3 or whatever. But also, and this is like incredibly niche to me perhaps, but I feel like if this game had like thousands and thousands of people playing it, it would be really cool to be in that community and like theory crafting. Okay, guys, how are we going to crack into difficulty plus 18 or whatever? Like, I feel like that feeling of being in a community and trying to figure that out would be really fun from like a difficulty perspective.
I kind of assume that plus 99 is beatable, but I'm not sure.
I didn't actually like start one to see.
I did.
Like, is it ridiculous?
It just felt like the second combat as the first combat, which it was like a it was like a 3-10-7 was like which is like not easy for a first combat, but I was expecting to start and it was going to be like a 50 health dude and I'd be like, okay, that's impossible. But so I'm assuming that 99 is doable, which is really fucking hard, but I don't know.
I mean, those things also
what I
they
know
like
about Nihohesoft, which is extremely little. I just assume that it's just one dude in Japan, like in like an apartment, just pumping out these games. I feel like he has probably tested plus 99 and beat it at least once.
That's what I'm assuming. Yeah.
No, he's the Trackmania like developer run or whatever.
Yeah, the off metal. Yeah. He just kept cranking it up until he couldn't beat it anymore, and then 99 is like where he like the author metal, basically, like you said.
He just found the single seed where you were able to do it, and he was like, "All right, we're good." It's like a Mario Maker troll level creator. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of curious to try a plus 99 if based on what you said, Jordan, because I think that the later levels tend to scale like a lot more than the first level. So I'm kind of curious what it looks like by the end.
It would be funny
like
if
the
like
final
the first
numbers
was just like 100 health, and you're just like, "Well, guess I can't beat this."
God. I mean, you guys saw what my damage record was. What was it, like 136?
Which is way higher than what the fuck I got. I think I did 12.
I definitely got 3 digits, and it was with combine. I think that's the only deck that can do it.
Yeah. It was, and to be clear, that's not like a one hit for that much damage. It's like a combination of hitting multiple targets and shock and everything else. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant you saw a number that said that much.
The number does say that much at the end, but it's like moot damage, if that makes sense. Because like what happens, the way you get that is like you have a fuck ton of shock and multiple
well, that's still
attacks.
A lot, yeah.
So you can see the damage cascading across all the enemies, and it'll just say 0, negative 120 or whatever.
Yeah.
I also just realized getting like a buttfuck huge number is probably not the like most difficult thing to do in the world, because you can just take the like the 2x card, and if you have like 1,000 gold at the end of the run, you just like keep overwriting it and overwriting it, or like copying it or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah,
you could probably get like a 5-digit number, I would imagine, especially on first floor difficulty.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Jordan, would you like to gush about the music? I have a feeling all of us liked it, but I think that you were probably the highest on it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just love like clowny ass MIDI Japanese style shit, starting with like Tactical Nexus, and the soundtrack just kind of felt like Tactical Nexus, but a little bit worse. So yeah, I mean, I just think it was great.
It still cracked me up when I first started playing this game. So I record the B-roll footage for the podcast pretty early and just get them rendered out really early, so I don't have to think about it. But I actually had to re-render it because like all of the footage that I recorded was of the first difficulty, and I was just under the impression that was just like the whole game. So when I started the second difficulty and I saw that there was a different background, I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to make more B-roll. And that's also when I noticed that there was more than one musical track.
Yeah, I still think they're just random. I don't think there's even like rhyme or reason behind what plays where.
Yeah, I think the same as well. But yeah, the music in this game is fucking sweet. Punches way above its weight class.
Wait, are you sure about that? Because I thought that you didn't really get any of the down-tempo stuff until you got past the first difficulty.
It might be maybe like as you beat the things that unlocks more, but I couldn't find. It didn't seem like there was any correlation between like
Oh, I see what you're
diff
saying.
level. Like it would play just random tracks. So like there you might be limited, and then as you play the game, you get
Yeah.
more available. I don't know.
Yeah, so like every time you beat a difficulty, you unlock
Yeah.
a track, but that track is still on shuffle.
Yeah, and I have no idea. Like I don't know if that's the system. That's just what it felt like. And there's also more. I'm pretty sure there's only tracks you can get by switching with using a music card. Because there's a lot of tracks that I was hearing when I started using music.
I think because of that, it's going to be kind of hard to ask what your guys' favorite song was. I know what mine is, and it's easy to describe where, but if you had a favorite that was not in an identifiable area, then it might be tough.
Wait, is your favorite the one that Ben has no idea about?
Yes.
Should we just
That's
tell
funny.
him what it is now? Because I could send I uploaded the clip so he could see what it is.
Yeah, I think it's time to. Well, first I'll say to Ben, my favorite song is the Lethal Dungeon song. Which is what you are about to now understand, the Lethal Dungeon installation process.
So what I just linked is that's the ultimate shit you can do in the game.
Yeah. Turns out the entire game was just a CAPTCHA for you to play a Flappy Bird clone. Or not even Flappy Bird, it's like the fucking Google 404 dinosaur thing.
Yeah,
It's just a runner game.
Is this just a mini game that you have access to, or is it this is the singular time you can play it, and then it just never comes back?
It's like a mini game. It slots up at the top like the puzzle mode does.
Okay,
But it
gotcha.
creates the illusion that it's the whole game.
Yeah.
It gives you a new title screen, and then you just click play game, and then you have to exit that title screen, and then it puts it in like the corner of the screen that you're used to seeing.
Oh, gotcha.
So basically,
Yeah.
the whole game, like you know those letters you get for beating difficulty 5, those are part letters of a CAPTCHA, and then it's basically you're putting in a CAPTCHA to circumvent the bot protection to play the true ultimate action adventure platformer, or however it describes it.
Yeah, there's
so
even this like
oh.
there's this like bit because like the secretary lady that you talk to at the end of each run that gives you the badge, she's like in on it. She's the one that's testing you, right? And there's this whole like dramatic RPG moment where it brings up text boxes where you can be like, well, why are you doing this to me? How did I get here? What's going to happen? Like you just start asking the secretary all
like,
of
look
these
outside.
questions before. Yeah.
Where you ask
It's like
the
building up to
motherfucker-
this.
Yeah.
It's building up to this dramatic moment, and then you just get this fucking Flappy Bird clone.
I
Like
think this looks
rip
amazing.
off PSP Final Fantasy 1 version, Final Fantasy 1 music.
Yeah, you enter the CAPTCHA, the like
this.
the
So you guys would never talk about this, but this is like the most important thing to me. I fucking love this because in this new mode, all of the fonts are the default font from Unity.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I fucking love it.
That's why I was trying to get you to do it without saying what it was, because I was like, I think Ben would only love this, but that or you'd hate it, but I didn't think you'd hate it.
I fucking love that it's just default Unity font. I'm very familiar with it.
Yeah, it's like one of the better like ending game bits I think I've ever, like it's top 5 for sure.
I mean, in terms of like, I think it's just the best. I can't name a better one in terms of just like being goofy as shit.
Yeah, this is just like all in on like a concept, like, oh, they're playing the puzzle game to prove they're not bots, and just what I wanted to keep telling you guys that I didn't want to actually say is like, it's not this like huge like, oh my god, what the fuck moment, but it's like,
not
it's a
Inscription.
punchline. It is a perfect
Yeah.
punchline.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. This isn't like one of the. I don't even think this is like a top 50 video game ending for me. But I think it's this and the Looker are like the two best like bit endings of a video game, where you just the Looker is you just draw a dick at the end of it. But yeah, like it's like a bit. It's fucking perfect.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything better, to be honest. I can think of like things that are more impactful, but in terms of like being a stupid, funny ass joke, like some I think you should leave shit. Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
This one's definitely sitting on top of the mountain.
Yeah, it's this and the Looker for me. I can't. I'm sure there's probably others that compete with that, but I can't think of any right now.
Yeah, this is why I wanted to ask that question about fourth wall breaks, because that moment where it's like your in-game screen is zooming out so you can see the window of the CAPTCHA and the installation process, and welcome to Lethal Dungeon is, and like I'm like typing over in Discord like, what the fuck is happening to my game right now? That shit was so funny. Oh man, and it's good to like, man, I want to see more weird shit like this in these random indie games. Like, you guys can do fucking anything with this shit. Just have fun with it. It's memorable. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, and that shit probably took them like a day to make.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like, it's definitely cool as fuck, but if someone not named Nihohesoft did this exact same thing again, I think they're cringe.
Well, sure.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely cross the blood-brain barrier into cringe doing shit like this, for sure. And I think that the likelihood of that goes up the more people that start doing it, for sure.
I think the most important thing is that, you know, I said I want to see it more, but the most important thing is just having a good game. Like, this isn't substituting anything else of the game. Like, it's poking fun at the fact that it has all this effort put into the main game, that it just creates this shitty optional game at the end. They're almost making fun of themselves.
Yeah, for sure. And that's also why I think it's specific to this game. Like, I give the Nihohesoft guy credit. Like, I give him the benefit of the doubt, whereas if it was another developer, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure his name's Nihohe and his company's Nihohesoft. At least based on the credits. That's what I'm gathering.
I'm gonna call Myths soft.
But yeah, like another one is like La Mulana's Hell Temple is kind of like the same idea, where you just get like the fucking swimsuit and it's kind of like goofy, but it's not as like committal. Like this game is like they made a whole other fucking game.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I mean. Like, this very specific fourth wall break is like something that I don't think can be repeated.
I mean, you could maybe make the argument that Look Outside's final true ending is kind of in the same. It's in the same lane, maybe.
I don't think it's as committed to what this game is.
Yeah, exactly.
If after that you like went on like you did like another, if it turned into a dungeon crawler, I would like, or no, I guess that game is a dungeon crawler, so that's not as big of a deal. But if it was another game I could play, I would agree. Because I think what Look Outside does, that feels like a way more common thing than what this game did.
Like this one is more on like the Nier Automata part of the spectrum than the like, I guess just kind of like a quippy ending that is self-referential kind of thing.
I agree.
Yeah, it's almost like I think this is an example that only Seth might get, but it almost reminds me of like One Cut of the Dead, where it's just like unfolding this goofy layer underneath that you had no idea was there, and like recontextualizes the entire thing in a way that's just like fucking absolutely hilarious.
Also really like that the reward for basically doing all of this is unlocking the infinite difficulty scaling.
Yeah.
I like that it's in there as, I like that it's kind of in there as a reward, not only for doing all of the decks, but seeing the punchline instead of like unlocking the infinite scaling after getting the deck pass. I don't know. Honestly, I don't have that much more to really talk about with this game. It was just a great experience. Nice, like I'm your popcorn puzzler guy, and this game was a roguelike for puzzle games. I loved it.
Yeah, I like how like even though this game like wears this fur coat of fucking pick three roguelike Slay the Spire shit, like underneath it all, it's really just a fucking math puzzle game. Like that's really all that it is. It can try and do all these fucking impersonations of all of this like higher concept deck building shit, but at the end of the day, it's just a straight up puzzle game.
Yeah, I think that's why I enjoy it so much.
It's kind of funny you say that because isn't that basically what Mimic Logic was too? Like obviously logic puzzles, but like it's all to the end of like getting stats for the
Yeah,
RPG thing in
little
like a
RPG,
mathematical
yeah.
way.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty similar.
I mean, I would say really all roguelike deck builders are just like math puzzles. This game is just like a little more math forward than the other ones.
Most other games of like Slay the Spire, yes, are math games, but really they're more statistics games.
Sure.
Like the reason why this is a puzzle game is because they reduced the variance so much to the point that like things can basically be deterministic.
Yeah, and I don't remember the exact point or why I brought it up when we discussed Mimic Logic way back then, but I think I remember someone asking me why I liked Mimic Logic so much because it was a puzzle game, and I'm not, you know, I'm not a puzzle game guy. And I think the reason I gave was that it actually reminded me of Slay the Spire, whereas this game is more similar to Slay the Spire, but I would say that it plays less like it, which is kind of weird because it's phenotypically it is like Slay the Spire, but gameplay wise, I don't put those two games in the same camp. Like to me, Lethal Dungeon is just a little more novel than Slay the Spire, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, this game really at the end of the day is just like trying to figure out lethal in a Hearthstone turn, and Hearthstone isn't anything like Slay the Spire.
Mm-hmm. Also, I don't think it's fair to say that this game is more novel than Slay the Spire because I mean, when Slay the Spire came out, like name another game that did what Slay the Spire did, you know? So I
Yeah,
think it's just
novel's the wrong word.
it's like played out. It's like a played out style where this game feels
Yeah.
fresh. Like when you play
Yeah,
like
that's
Estrella
not.
or
Yeah,
Star Invaders, you're not like it's another Slay the Spire game. Like this game was like, ooh, it's a puzzle game that's kind of like Slay the Spire versus a Slay the Spire like or whatever you want to call those.
yeah. I just think that this game somehow like threaded the needle and created like its own thing,
Yeah.
and that's kind of like how I feel
Mhm.
about it.
Yeah, it's like puzzle
Definitely.
first, kind of like what we've been saying. It's like puzzle first versus like a card game with a bunch of randomness. There's not a lot of randomness in this game.
Yeah, and that's still why I'm feeling that like I have this vibe in my head that this game is so goddamn innovative because like it it doesn't like lean on the conventions of this genre in order to guide its decision making for the game. It very clearly had like a vision of what it wanted the game and gameplay to be like, the kind of decisions that you make, and it executes on them very well. Even something like Inscription, Inscription is like its own thing that we would have to talk about. But if you just take like the core thing of that game, like the first act, that a lot of people treat as like the primary game because there's that mod that like turns it into a full-fledged game. Like it's basically just Slay the Spire, just kind of unique, kind of different. It just felt like one of those things that people are going to enjoy while they wait on Slay the Spire 2 to come out because they had been playing Slay the Spire for hundreds of hours. But yeah, this game was just like its own thing in a beautiful way.
Yeah, no, agreed. I do think Inscription is probably, I would consider that more innovative than this game because that game's fucking crazy, but I don't know, they're both fucking dope.
Here's how I choose to think about it. I know that like it's kind of tired maybe at this point talking about the value proposition of this game, but this game was what, like $5, $8?
$5 launched on
Like,
sale too.
I would say like the density of like novel shit that's in this game for $5 versus the density of novel shit that was in the other games that cost 30 plus. I think this game like is equal if not better just in terms of its value proposition.
Yeah,
the
for
only one
sure.
that competes would be Slay the Spire and Monster Train, I think.
Yeah, I agree. It's to me this game definitely meets the Slay the Spire tier, where like it just stays installed and it's going to stay installed forever, even if I don't play the game anymore.
Yeah, I don't even I like that the game gets the fuck out of there too, because like I said earlier, like I'm sick of 12-hour runs and roguelike deck builders. I'm sick of 40,000 times you need to beat the game to get all the progression and all that shit. Like I like that the game basically just has like a defined end, basically, where you're like, okay, you can uninstall it now versus like Slay the Spire, you can just play that game forever, basically.
Yeah, God, you have no idea how happy I was when I got like a level up after a run and it just said max. God, I was like, are you shitting me? I don't have to play another 30 fucking hours to get everything?
Yeah, and also to get up to that max it just doesn't take very long.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I think that's really something like, you know, we didn't have this as a meta question or anything or like a topic, but I really do think that's something that is missing from a lot of games now. And like you kind of saw it with something like Expedition 33 as another example, where like we don't need these like 100-hour open world experiences for these games. Just make something tight, make something good, make something that like functions on itself, and you're gonna have a good game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think it's a hot take to say that, like, I probably played this game like 10 hours. I left it open, so don't pay attention to my Steam playtime, but somewhere around 8 to 10 hours. And I would rather play 8 to 10 hours of extremely tightly designed, very like purposeful with what it's trying to do and what it's trying to have the player extract from it versus like 100 hours of just middery, like Monster Train 2 or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Also
I think
wanted to. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think this game is probably one of the more like time respecting and fun forward games that we've played for
Mhm.
this.
Might be the most.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%
that's-
agreed.
I can't
might be
say
the most,
it's the
yeah.
most, but I'm assuming it's close, if not just is.
I mean, I guess like ratings notwithstanding, something like Ball X Pit is probably up there.
I don't think that game respected your time nearly as much as this game does. That game
Yeah, I
wants you
agree.
to waste your fucking time.
Yeah, even something like
Yeah.
Starvaders that Jordan also said was fun forward. I think
Yeah.
this is the game that both had it in mind and also executes the best out
Yeah.
of any game we've played.
Agreed. Starvaders is definitely close too, but I think this game, yeah, what's that said?
Yeah, well, I guess you guys are just forgetting about Fate Stay Night, but that's okay. We can move on.
God, I love Fate Stay Night. Ben, I want you to know, like every other day, Cass is hounding me that I should pull for Archer, but I'm like,
should,
no, I won't
especially-
do it. I will not do it.
I mean, he's fucking goated right now. The whole meta is like kind of
That's what she
glazing him.
says.
Wait,
Like,
are you talking
he's-
about Honky?
Yeah, Honky Star
Yeah.
Rail. with
Wait,
the-
Archer's in that? That's crazy.
Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
yeah. It's the reason why I played the game again. It's because they had the Fate Stay Night collaboration.
Oh wow, I didn't know Genshin did or Nihohe did crossover events.
Well, regardless, before we get too far off topic with that stuff, it's my complete own fault. Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about before we head into ratings?
Let me think.
I'm ready to award my 10.
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
I'm like very curious what your guys' scores are going to be because
I'm not.
I felt I I don't know. You know, we already know Ben, so Ben, why don't you just give your spiel on why it's a 10?
Not even gonna do the
This
command.
is absolutely befitting of a game developed by the god that made Gimmick Logic. No, Mimic Logic. Nihohe Soft made a 10 out of 10 game again. That's it.
Knew I shouldn't have done the fucking command.
God, I want them to announce their next game. Imagine their
what it's
next
gonna
game
be.
is just like full actual Lethal Dungeon, you know?
I hope it's a Sokoban.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Will be the first time I play Sokoban.
and the first time and maybe only time you'll rate a Sokoban a 10.
Yeah. Oh wait, no. What was that game? Matthew Matosis. What Logic Bonds?
Logic
Oh,
Bonds?
Logic Bonds.
No, that's not Sokoban.
That's not. Okay,
That's
never
not a
mind.
Grams.
Nah.
That's Picross.
Okay.
I guess I'll just go real quick. We'll go bottom to top, I suppose. This game is great. I feel like it's difficult to fully explain why it's great outside of what we've already said. Game's fun forward. It executes. It has the idea of what it wants to do, and it executes on it perfectly, exactly like Mimic Logic. I think the only difference for me between this game and Mimic Logic is that this game was going to have a harder time executing on its ideas just by virtue of being like a more complex pick 3 roguelike rather than like a logic puzzle game. So I'm gonna rate it a little higher because of that. It's still not like a 10. I don't think it's like a perfect game. We didn't really talk about some of the like minor UI issues that I had. They're unimportant, so I won't get into it. But there's just like some small things that bugged me. The fact that I'm never going to be able to find the OST for this game on YouTube kind of bugs me, so I'm going to bring it down a point for that. I'm kidding.
What the
I
hell?
do love the OST though. I do love. I'm kidding, but I do love the OST. But I don't think it's a 10. But the fact that I can give this the same score I rated Hades 2 is really funny. It's a 9 out of 10.
Rate Hades 2 a 9 out of 10.
I think so. I had a much better experience with that game than you guys because I played it in the early
If you're
access.
in early access, yeah.
Oh, did you say you're going bottom to top as me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Nihohesoft's done it again. 9 out of 10.
Bam.
Fun,
Damn,
you
I think
guys all
everyone's
dodged
getting
it.
points.
A very small range for us to guess when we all know.
Yeah,
we all
actually
just
kind
know.
of disappointed for a different reason. Because
You wanted
so here's the thing. I guessed 10 for everybody except for Jordan, and I was waiting for Jordan's rating so that I could say that he's getting sent to the internment camp.
Just with that guy that did the one negative rating.
Yeah.
There was a part of me that was hoping that this game was, of all games, was going to be the first like straight 10 out of 10, like dethroning Claire Obscure. I thought that
That
was
would
going
be
to be
funny.
fucking hilarious.
I don't know what kind of game it's going to take for that to happen. If Claire Obscure didn't even do it, it's going to be wild.
Side didn't do it. I have no clue because that game's nuts.
Yeah. All right, Thomas.
This game's an absolute masterclass in stripping a genre down to the studs and then rebuilding it into something totally fresh and in its own vision. A lot of the times I feel like the biggest compliment that I can pay to a game is that when the end credits roll, I just wish I had another like 10 or 15 hours worth of content to just sit there and spend with it. But I don't say that about this game because I think it's such a fucking superbly crafted and just lean experience that it does a really great job of not getting old and not getting in its own way or creating like unnecessary contrivance in order to like stay in your memory or get you to keep opening it. Absolutely perfect experience for what it is. And again, the price point it got released at. Nihohesoft is batting 100. This bitch is a 10 out of 10.
God
Excellent.
damn.
And that's a very good point. Because like Nihohe does not bribe you to play this game, whereas I'm literally thinking back to fucking Synthetic where you log in and there's fucking dailies. Are you fucking kidding me? Daily quests? That game no.
Bro, this game is like the opposite because, like, in my opinion, the worst song in the game is the main menu. You open up the game as
Yeah.
I
like that song.
There is something very comforting about that song.
I hate
dude.
you. That song's fucking sick. What do you mean?
I didn't
It's
say
the
it's
one I
bad.
remember the most. It's the most catchy.
I guess you're right. I did remember it. But yeah, Thomas, I don't know what you were talking about, that there wasn't another 15 hours of gameplay in this game. Sounds like you didn't even play Lethal Dungeon, idiot.
Yeah.
What the
Are you even
hell?
on the leaderboard? What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like place like 150 or something.
I was 12th when I looked yesterday.
Okay, can we
Wow.
just talk about that? I think that game is actually harder than the game they actually made. Like,
Oh, for sure
There-
it is. There's
there were like some
unwinnable
fucking
spots.
impossibles.
No, there
Yeah.
are. All over the place. Starting at like 60, you could just get an undoable.
Yeah, I
It's
gave
fucked
up.
up.
I gave up trying to get the 6th achievement. And I was like, whatever, the first 5 they'll do.
I also just want to say I respect the commitment to the bit of having no achievements in the game
Yes.
except
Yeah.
for the ones
Yes.
related to that game.
So good.
That is so fucking funny. Oh my god. I wish that they had a third project announced so I could get excited for that the way we did with Mimic Logic.
Yeah, I think by the time we played Mimic Logic, it was what, like a year old, maybe?
Like a year and a half.
When that come out.
Came out like almost exactly 2 years ago. 2 years before
Yeah.
Lethal Dungeon. And we played it in like
Yeah, so
what,
this
August
guy's
or
on
something.
this guy's on a a one game every 2 year release schedule. So 2 years from now, and we'll get another 10 out of 10.
Yep.
All right. That was Mimic, or not, that was Mimic Logic. That was Lethal Dungeon. Ben, what are we playing next week?
Next week, we are playing Touhou 15, Legacy of Lunatic Kingdom. And the reason why I chose this game is because I was trying to think of a game that wouldn't take too long, because I know that next we're going to be playing Baldur's Gate 1. And the other reason why I thought of it is because I actually wanted to pick it like a couple months ago. I brought it up, but then I remembered it existed again after we played Star Vaders and we were talking about the music, and that music sounded like Touhou. So like, let's just play a Touhou game. So Touhou 15. That's it.
That's
I haven't
funny.
played a Toho game in so long. I'm gonna be pretty pumped to revisit that.